Hi, everybody. Welcome to February's Town Hall webinar with Patrick and myself. I'm just going to give it a couple of minutes to let some more people come in. While we're waiting, I'll give you guys an idea of what we're going to be reviewing today. As you all know, we have recently released that new reporting feature with scheduled reports. And I'm sure some of you have noticed there is a custom report option that we have added. So today we're going to be walking through some different ways to create custom reports and some interesting ideas for what kinds of custom reports you can build to maximize the usage of that new feature. Patrick, I will let you take it away whenever you are ready.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome everybody to this month's town hall. So gonna be going over the slide deck from last town hall just to review, in case anyone missed the multiple features that we had. Nick mentioned the reports, but there are some other nice features that we added. So, going to be rehashing some of the things we reviewed last time, but as Nick mentioned, we're going to be going a little bit deeper dive into not just the the reports that we can do or the custom reports, but we're going to be able to see some of the, when we save a search, we can turn that into a report as well as a alert, and we can pull them up and do some different things. So we'll be covering all of that today. So again, reviewing 217, we will be having another update shortly in the next couple of weeks or so with some enhancements to the reports and some other things. So we'll have you keep your eye out for that. And as we go through those custom report examples today, we also added, if you notice in the handout section of the GoToWebinar app, or if you're online, you will be able to download the handouts of some step-by-step guides of the examples that we're going to be going through today. So for update 217, one of the things that we added was MFA. We're starting out with email passcode. In future, we're going to look to expand that to some like authenticator app type stuff, OTP tokens, but for starters, email passcode. So you're going to be able to turn this on under settings, users, and then where previously there was just the singular section to have a login message or login banner and edit that, now has a couple tabs. So one of the things, and I'm going to be mentioning this later as well, we added in an auto logout adjustment feature, or you can turn it off actually if you wanted to. But this one, MFA, you're going to be able to enable MFA, and it's going to send passcodes to the email of the user that you have in NeQter. So when you enable that, you're going to get that NeQter email. It's going to have the passkey, one-time passcode, and you will be able to punch that in upon login and enter in that token and gain access to NeQter. Once you put in your user and password, you're going to get a toast notification that will let you know that the passcode has been emailed. If that doesn't pop up, that means that it didn't send. And when it comes to the passcode, one of the things that we recommend is setting up, or if you haven't already, your SMTP mail relay settings. And you can test the delivery of your email via the send test email feature, just to make sure that those passcodes aren't going to get lost or sent to spam. If you have SMTP up already, which we recommend, just even to get all communication from NeQter reports or alerts and what have you. But just want to emphasize that, especially for MFA. And we do have a stopgap if for some reason your mail relay changes or there's an issue with MFA. There is you need to have access to your hardware unit, but there is an ability to disable as a stopgap if for whatever reason you can't access your NeQter, unfortunately. So we did build that in. You won't be locked out. We are able to assist with that if it comes to it. So moving on to reports, which is kind of the flagship feature of this update. We've added in a couple templated reports that you can select, but then today we're going to be reviewing what you can do with the custom reports that you can set up. I'll also be showing you a couple reports that we're going to also be adding with our next small update, and some additional features that should have been added on launch, but we were able to add those in the next update. So I'll show you what those are. But right now, you're going to be able to have a general system report, much like the same one that was in there before under settings under reports. But now the reports feature is on the former events tab. Events tab has been renamed to reports, where you are able to access this feature and set up report schedules. You're also able to set up on-demand reports. So if you want to run something instantly, you don't want to have to wait for it to generate with the schedule, you can do that as well. The reports that you can use right now are the general system report, the full inventory report, and then of course a custom report. The additional report types that we're going to be adding include the vulnerability, a couple vulnerability scan reports. And right now the settings for custom reports include JSON and Excel, and then we have HTML for the general system report, and of course Excel for the inventory report. So a little bit of what I just talked about with the on-demand reports up at the top right, where you have, of course, ability to user information, documents, support, power. We have a little play button where click on it, you're going to be able to open up this tab here, whether it's general system report, full inventory, or custom, and you can, set it to run that report. This one thing to highlight is the stored data is kept until the associated report is deleted. So when you run a report, or if you run a custom report, it runs that report, queries the data, stores that data in the report's area, and that will live longer than if you have, say, 30-day rotation of live logs, and you run a report and the report's in there for longer than 30 days. You'll still be able to pull and review that data even though it has cycled out of the live index. So just wanted to emphasize that. And like I just mentioned, you're able to establish report schedules, and they can be run daily, weekly, or monthly. You can have the reports be delivered to multiple email addresses. And just so you know, the scheduled reports are run at midnight according to your adjusted system time. So I will be showing you what we can do on the custom report side, but of course, the nice thing with the reports feature is it's not a heavy lift for us to add additional reports and release them in an update. So it's going to be something that we're going to be building out, adding additional reports as we kind of build a bridge between now and as we move to the next big update of the the platform, which is going to involve shifting over to OpenSearch. So this is going to allow us to, add value and get a lot of good reports in there. So anything that you think would be interesting or that we can structure that's beneficial, let us know. We want to have a big feedback campaign for this new report feature. And as I mentioned, any new search that is created to, produce a report is going to get stored in the Save Searches area, and of course can be loaded up as a custom alert profile. So I'm going to review a couple of those that are in the handouts now, pace through. If you have any questions, if you want me to review anything more specifically, of course, we have the questions area of the webinar. So please put something in there if you want to know more. So the first custom report that I'm going to look to make that we have in the handout. So I'm going to be making a firewall search or leveraging firewall data. For that, I'm going to use FortiGate. But if you have WatchGuard, if you have SonicWall, you have Sophos, you have Cisco, any of the ones that we have in there, you can do the same query type. So one of the things I want to see is if there is any, outside the United States traffic, that I can take a look at, and maybe I want to report on that. And one of the things to highlight as well is when you make a filter and turn that into a saved search and, call up that filter again, you can add additional parameters or additional filters in a row and save that as a new search. So say, for example, and we have, in the example in the handout, we just have a simple, source country. So what I like to do is I like to structure things on the dashboard tab. You can absolutely just hang out in the Discover tab and create queries and filters that way. But I like to do it this way just to see the data, have kind of an instant feedback with what I'm looking at here. So I clicked on the source countries pie chart. I clicked on United States. And now I have this source.geo.country_name United States here. So if I want to see things outside of the United States, I'm going to click on this filter, and I'm going to edit the filter, and I can just exclude results right now. So it can just say, not source country United States, and that's going to achieve the same goal. But if I wanted to go over here and click edit filter, when we excluded results, it changed the operator from is to is not. But I can do multiple things. So maybe I have a company that spans the United States and Canada, and I wanted to do is not one of United States and Canada. I can do that if I wanted to know that. So I'm just going to say, though, is not United States as a filter. And maybe I don't want all of this traffic because this is still 2 million, right? 2 million logs in the last 24 hours. Maybe I only wanted to know if the source is not United States and it's accepted, right? We want to know if traffic's getting through or success. So I'm going to do accept and add that. And now we have 2 filters here. So I can see, there's quite a bit, but we reduced it from 2 million to 800,000. And let me see. So everything is a notice level right now. If I wanted a higher severity, say it threw a warning level from FortiGate, I could have added that as well. So we're just going to keep this. And in order for us to save the search, what we're going to do is we're going to pin these filters. And now we're going to go to the Discover tab where I have FortiGate. Oh, I thought yeah, so we already have this, the search open. So let me just actually go back to the dashboard because I had pinned that. So let's just do that again real quick. So we'll do accepted. We're going to do United States. We're going to say it's not the United States. And we're going to pin. And let me just go back to the Discover tab. And I don't know why it keeps clearing. Oh, maybe that's why. I had a search already opened up there. So we'll go to FortiGate, and I actually already had this this search saved. So I'm going to open, and we're going to go to non-US traffic. And so this is already saved as a search that I have here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, since this is already saved, I'm going to go and run this custom report. And I'm going to select an Excel. And I'm going to go and select the search here, non-US traffic that I have. And I'm going to run this. So it has a lot of hits, but when I run this, it's going to, cap me at a max. So maybe I'll just do, instead of last 1 week, 1 day, I'm actually just going to filter this down to a particular destination to hopefully work down the results that I'm going to get. So source, destination, and I can also pick the port if I wanted to, maybe filter that down. So I'm going to save this as a new search. We're going to confirm that. And now I'm going to run that report. Custom report, non-US web traffic to UK. And when I run this report, with the last 1 day, it's going to run and it's going to download. And then I can open this up here. So that's just a bit of a workflow of going through, and so we were looking at that firewall data. So now I have all of the data here. I have the full event and all of the different fields like we have from NeQter. But it's going to allow me to get a subset of information that I might want to see. So another example that we can do, the next one, we can do attempted file access. So for that, we're going to go to the Windows File Auditing dashboard. And, again, I can just, if I wanted to, I can go to the Windows tab here. And I'm going to clear this because this is FortiGate related filters. I can go here and filter things down or search across if I wanted to. But again, my personal preference is to go to the dashboard visualizing the data. So we're going to use this this second attempted file access. So we're going to go, and the one that we want is actually added or modified items. We want to know about a Windows event ID 4663, because we already have this as a saved search. So technically, if we wanted to, we can open up the saved search that's stored in NeQter that we have, and then we can add parameters and save that as a new search. But I'm just going to make a net new. So we're going to filter out for 4663. And now we have it highlighted, and I can see up at the top here, 4663. But maybe I didn't want to know about, of course, all access to everything that we're tracking. Maybe we only care about either certain users or a particular, host that this is happening on. So say you had different servers, you wanted to know about file access on that server. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a couple of users. So, or rather, we'll add B. Goodman. But I'm going to edit this filter and actually add is one of. Or what you could do is maybe you only have a handful of users that are allowed to access certain folders on a server. And it might be better to say, you know what, I want to know if there's access from, is not one of these users that should have access. So we're going to add that string here, or add those different values rather. We're going to save this. So now we're going to be able to track all access that doesn't match these three users. We have this all listed out. Now, something that's more interesting is we could do if there's any audit failures, i.e. a user attempts to access something that they don't have rights to. I don't have any logs for that, but that might be a good one to show. But we're just going to use this for now. So again, we're going to pin this, and we're going to go back to the Discover area, and we're going to go to Windows. So now I can see that's here. I don't have to go to the index, right? I could have just saved this as soon as I go to Discover. But again, I'm a stickler. I just like to go and reconfirm, okay, yes, this is searching this data. This data is interesting to me. And we're going to save this as a new search. We're going to say folder access outside of approved users. Or maybe because of the audience that we have and the customers we have, CUI folder access outside of approved users, right? So we're going to confirm that save. We now have that search. And I can go and I'm going to make an on-demand report, custom report, Excel, last day. And we're going to go to the search here I just made. The new searches are going to get stacked and they're going to show up at the bottom. So CUI folder access outside of approved users. Now I can run this report and have it on demand, but maybe this is something I really like. I'm going to go back to reports, and I'm going to schedule this. So custom reports, custom saved searches, I can make a new schedule for. So I'm going to make a new report schedule. We're going to have it as a custom report here. And CUI approved access. And I can have an email get sent to me. I can fix, again, the time range here. I can have it run daily and show me the last one day. I could have it run weekly, run the last 1 week. Excel, I want to receive this to my email. And then we're going to select that one we just made. CUI folder access outside of approved users. And now I can save this. This is going to show up over here, and then it's going to start. Running. So that's so we looked at some firewall application. We looked at file and folder access via Windows, and now we're going to do another one that we have in the handout is the is one for tracking admin logins. So we're going to look at this on Active Directory. So we're going to be interested in 4624. We want to know about logon events. So I can actually just do logon event if I wanted to, or I can do the specific, because there might be a couple. There's 4624, 4625 for logins. But what I'm more interested in seeing is if it is a privileged or, elevated login. So this is actually something we want to reindex windows and pull these fields out. So instead of me doing the method I'm about to show you, we're going to be able to do this with the field type. But so we're going to take elevated token, yes, which means that it's a privileged user, and we're going to pin across all apps the login field here. We're going to go back to Discover. We're going to see these logon actions. And now we're going to search elevated token, yes. And we're going to put that in quotes so it looks for that phrase. So we have that. So very important. So everything I've been doing so far has just been filters. But any text that you put in the search bar also gets considered in the save search. So we're going to hit save. And it actually says it right here. Save your Discover search so that you can use it. So we're going to say admin successful logons. We're going to confirm the save search. And these save searches that I'm making, one, we can come over here and open them. So if we wanted them and, it was something that we were using frequently, we can open them and do that like so. Another method is, instead of saving it as a search, which is going to be able to be utilized in alerts as well as the reports, you can save it as a query. And this is just another method of, saving the stuff for calling up easy use. This is also going to get stored in the recently viewed. So these searches I'm saving are going to show up in recently viewed. So I can call these up again if I wanted to. So let me just click on that recently viewed, and it opened this up again. If I were to go and open up traffic from countries outside the U.S., this is going to, do that for me and open up that search. So we're just going to go, admin successful logons, and open that up, and it's going to take me right to the index here. So again, I go over here, I run an on-demand report, custom report. You know what? I do want to see the last 1 week, Excel. We're going to scroll to the bottom here, admin successful logons, and we're going to run the report. One thing I want to showcase is we're making this a bit better in the next update, but one of the things that you can do is group by field, and we're actually having it where the groups are going to be named with the result of that field. So, for example, if you in future want to group by username, you're going to be able to do that. So when I run the report and get this Excel, we're going to have tabbed at the bottom all the different usernames that are logging in, and that's going to be interesting for us to see. So run this report, open it up in Excel, and we're going to have every instance of somebody was logging in, and we're going to be able to get all the different fields broken down, and of course we're going to be able to get the full Windows log here, and people who are better than me at Excel will be able to quickly figure out how to unwrap this, so then we can have more logs show up. But right now it's expanded, because that text is wrapped. So that's that. Another example. If anyone has any questions or any examples that they might want to see, definitely throw those in the chat or in the questions area. Last one I'm going to show. So I realize now in the handout, and just for everyone's reference, these handouts that we have on the right, I've been referencing over, my PDF viewer here, Adobe. So this is breaking down everything that I've been showing you on the call today, so you can download those. I think we'll look to also put those up or have those as a page on our doc site as examples. So this last one that we're going to take a look at is going to be for metrics. I think the one that we have as an example is for NeQter Health. So if you wanted to know about NeQter Health, you can create queries and filters for that. But metrics might be, nicer to know about. So if I actually go and open up metrics in the dashboard tab here, so then I can see the different metrics for different systems. So this is the NeQter Health dashboard. I want to see metrics. So we can do metrics overview or metrics host. Either one is going to show us what we want, but we're just going to do metrics overview. So we can see the different systems that are pulling and pushing metrics. So say, for example, this desktop, let's pretend this was a server. So over here in the Discover tab, what I've actually done is I've actually gone and found the field for system memory used percentage. And this is, I think, going to be interesting for you guys. So we've been looking so far, is that what we've been looking at is, does something exist, or is a particular field present? But something that we're going to be able to do with number fields is, we can designate parameters. So one thing I can say is, I want to know if system memory is between 50% to 100%, because we use the decimals for, visualizing on the metrics dashboards here, the percentages. So maybe 50%, maybe we don't care about that. Maybe we're more interested in 75%. So we're just going to change that, save that. So fortunately, we haven't gone over 75% more than 4 times in the last 24 hours. But assuming it's a server, and we can do this for RAM, by memory, but we can also do this for CPU utilization or disk space utilization. So what we can do is system memory used between 75 and 100%. And again, if I cared about a particular asset, say it's this one, say this host is actually a server, we really care about either this particular server, or again, you can edit the filter and say, is one of, and list all the servers that you care about in a row, and we can save this. Now we're going to save this as a new save search, and we're going to say server high RAM use. And this is something that could be interesting to us in a report, so we can make this custom report and select this. But again, remember, every save search I make can be utilized in the alerts area. So I can actually go and, again, schedule this report, run it weekly, and say, you know what, send me a summary every time that my server RAM utilization or disk utilization or CPU utilization went over 75%. I want to know each time that happened and summarize that in a Excel for me. Or using alerts, we can create an alert from the save search, we can load up server high RAM use and mark that as high, and say, you know what, every time that happens, kick me an email. Or if that happens 5 times within an hour, that might mean my server's getting stressed and there's something I need to take a look at. Maybe it's time to upgrade, right? So the saved searches that we're creating are usable in multiple areas, namely, of course, alerts and reports, but we can call it up again and query our data in the Discover tab. And as NeQter looks to build out, our team looks to build out saved searches, those are also going to show up in that area as well, and be usable by all the different users that we have. So I know that was a long walk, but just wanted to showcase that new reports feature. The update that we have coming out is going to allow us to, or rather allow you can define the report name before, or rather in the current version. When you save the report, it has the syntax of year, month, day, or what have you, or day, month, year. But we're having it where the defined user defined name that you give to the report, when you save the report, it will have that as the file save, and will also show up in the reports area. And then, as I had mentioned, in terms of the grouping function, it was also going to add that specific field data to the groups again, so you can have that downloaded report be a little bit more useful and easier to navigate. So that's what we have coming down the line. That's also what we have now. What I just reviewed with you. Again, any questions or anything that you would like me to walk through, definitely throw that into the questions area of the webinar. Outside of that, though, I want to keep just wrapping up these slides here. Again, rehashing what we had looked at last month. So one of the things that this has actually helped me out a bunch is the auto logout, being able to customize. So for me, for my demo system, sometimes I get into the I definitely get into talking through stuff, and then I go and I click I click back in, and I'm like, oh man, I gotta log in again. If somebody has a lot of questions, or I'm walking someone through something. So for me, I crank that up to 60 minutes. Obviously, in production, you might want that to be that needs to line up with whatever designated length of time that you have for your auto logout for all users. So you're going to want to reflect that on NeQter, so you can now match this up. Maybe you had it at 20 minutes, maybe you had it at 30 minutes was acceptable. So now you can enable auto logout and designate the timeline or the delay rather, if there's no, and this is all contingent upon no activity. Obviously, if you're using NeQter, that's going to continue to reset until you're inactive. Then if the timer starts, it will delay and then log out if there's no new activity. Or you can turn it off. You can disable it if you'd like to. So we had some larger clients who kind of had a knock set up, right? They have NeQter showcase and showing up on a big screen in a room, and it kept logging out. Not ideal. So you can do that as well. And an additional enhancement that we had added was Juniper firewall support. In terms of NeQter, we try not to have products with kiss of death, because sometimes we add things, and then we have with Juniper, everyone uses Juniper, and then the acquisition by HP, so maybe less people will use Juniper with that acquisition, but had a lot of users using it, so we wanted to add that. Another syslog input is going to have all the same data types that we can see for every other firewall that we have. and configurable much of the same way, settings and inputs. And then other enhancements that we have. I don't know why this got shifted, but we added in a, guess we didn't have this before, loading spinner for the landing page. There was some issue with the SonicWall legacy categories, so we fixed that. We shored that up with that index for those types of users. We added a message to the SSP export if there's no revision data, and some other cleanup type stuff. And again, events has been renamed to reports. And we also have, and this is thanks to Chris from our team, that we have a what's new area on the doc site. Should have maybe updated this presentation to include the 217 that Chris added. I'll actually just pull it up here. So when you go on the landing page for docs.NeQterLabs.com, or if you're accessing it from NeQter, we have summarization, just showing you the high level of things that we have added, just in case for some reason you missed this webinar or what have you. And what we have coming down the line is, as I had mentioned last time, and also, this is a big shift for us. There might be a couple cosmetic changes for the end user experience, but in terms of functionality, it's going to remain the same and improve with this move of moving from the underlying Elastic Stack that we leverage to OpenSearch, and then also making our log ingestion more dynamic by utilizing FluentBit. But we'll be able to utilize, we're still debating, so as we know more, let you know, but we're going to have it where the current beats, the current agents that are used by you guys and deployed, will be able to leverage this new kind of log stream. And then we might look to transition those in future to get more dynamic capability, or the agents might be fine as is. But definitely as we transition, agents will be fine. We'll work with the new method of receiving logs. Again, on your end, we're transitioning everything over. You're not going to be experiencing a whole lot of shifting pieces, but it's a great undertaking on our end. But it's going to allow us to have a fantastic platform for the next, 5 years or so. So this is a big move for us. Just going to mention one other thing when it comes to reports that we were talking about is when we have the group by field, it's going to be dynamic. So when we update, when we go over here, or you group it, the fields in the exported report are going to reflect what you group by and dynamically add. And in terms of the reports, or the new report types that I hinted at, what you're going to be able to use, so it's not showing up in here, but we have a couple reports. One is hosts by vulnerability. Another, so that's going to be grouping all hosts that have the same vulnerability. So essentially, the features that we have that's in the host tool that shows in the vulnerabilities area, we're going to just be having that where you can download that or automate that in the reports function. And then vulnerabilities by host. And then we're also going to be adding a vulnerability aging summary report. So you'll be able to more easily identify vulnerabilities that have been present for 30 or 60 or 90 days. So helping you achieve those compliance objectives. So That's going to be in this reports on demand and scheduled just some additional, because we actually had a few users who have multiple scans, right, in the vulnerability scanner where you have to click into each scan and see the results per scan. All of that data is being replicated, of course, in the host of vulnerabilities tab, where we can see on the timeline everything grouped, regardless of scan. But we want that to also be able to be externally sent from the platform in nice HTML format or Excel. And so that's what we have coming down the line. And I also want to highlight, so the walkthroughs, the handouts that I was showcasing today, and also the reports function and the new report types, which such as the vulnerability ones that I just mentioned, all of this was done by our dev member, Jose, who I had mentioned a few months back as newest member of the team on the dev side. So don't want his work to go unrecognized. He helped me out and got these all done, written out. And he's been the one that's been spearheading the charge on the vulnerability scan report types and also these other report types. So just wanted to give a shout out to Jose. So that's everything I wanted to cover today. Of course, if there's any questions, been kind of quiet today. Hopefully haven't bored anybody, but with the the line-by-line walkthrough of the different reports types, or making searches and saving them and calling them up again. So hopefully this has been helpful in highlighting that new feature, but also inherent features that you have at your disposal if you want to roll up your sleeves, make some custom alerts, custom reports, custom searches, and get more data out of your NeQter. So, Nick, anything that you think I should mention? I know I've been monologuing for quite a bit here. Want to make sure you're still there.
Oh, I'm most certainly still here, Pat. I've been enjoying the monologue. There have been no real questions coming through. And I think, not only highlighted some different ways that you could leverage the saved searches as some suggestions for different, custom reports and alerts that people build. But you've also done a good job of just kind of going through the process of creating those in case anyone wants to come up with their own unique ideas for things to, monitor via reports and alerts. I can't think of anything else I would add to what you've gone over today, honestly.
All right, awesome. Well, want to be thorough. So, next webinar in March, I'm going to be just showing those things I hinted at, showing those new reports. I know Nick has been, with his quarterlies, has been showcasing and highlighting the new feature if people, don't have it turned on, stuff like that. And I guess we'll leave, another minute or so just to see if any questions are going to come through last minute. But other than that, that is everything we were looking to cover today. No, this one went a bit longer than usual. We've been usually able to wrap up kind of new features and Q&A in kind of 25-30 minutes, but this one was much more in depth. So definitely want to give a shout out to everyone that's here. Appreciate all of your time having us walk through all of these different things. And again, I haven't seen anything come in on the questions area, so we'll definitely look to sign off if you want to bring us out, Nick.
Yeah, I can definitely take us out. Thanks again to everyone, as Pat said, for taking the time to join us. Feel free to send me any questions you have from today's webinar, or if you run into any trouble working through creating custom searches and custom reports and alerts on your own, once again, please just reach out to me. I'm more than happy to set up time and walk you through it myself, and kind of go over everything Pat went through today. And we will see you next month. Have a excellent Valentine's Day and a great rest of your February.
Yep. Thanks, everybody. See you next month.